You know that feeling when you're facing a task that just feels impossible? A choice where it seems like there's no right answer? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is honestly an ancient but super practical guide for navigating that exact feeling and figuring out the right way to act. So the chapter kicks off on a battlefield, but the real fight is something we all know. It's that moment when you're up against something that feels overwhelming or just plain wrong. For the warrior Arjuna, it was literally having to fight his own family. For us, it might be a really tough conversation we have to have, or a project that's just draining us. The question is the same for everyone. And right here, Arjuna just puts that universal feeling into words. He's totally confused. See, Krishna had just been talking about the path of knowledge, so Arjuna asks this brilliant question. He's basically saying, hang on, if knowing stuff is better than doing stuff, why are you pushing me into this horrible action? And this one question sets the stage for one of the Gita's biggest revelations. So Krishna's answer, it starts by just completely taking apart Arjuna's whole argument. Arjuna thinks he has two choices, right? Act or don't act. But Krishna's about to reveal a pretty startling truth about how life itself actually works. Yeah, it's a shocking idea. Krishna says that nobody can stay completely inactive, not even for a second. I mean, the very forces of nature, just breathing, thinking, existing, they force us to act. So that choice to just sit back and do nothing to escape our problems, it's an illusion. It's not actually an option. So if doing nothing is off the table, what are the real options? Krishna lays out two totally valid paths to get to spiritual freedom. You've got Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, which is for the more contemplative types. And then you have Karma Yoga, the path of action, for the active types. And here's the crucial part. Neither one is better than the other. Action, as long as you do it the right way, is just as powerful for finding freedom as knowledge is. And that brings us right to the heart of chapter 3. If we have to act, then how are we supposed to do it? This is where Krishna introduces a game-changing idea that completely reframes Arjuna's whole problem. This is Karma Yoga, and it's not about the action you're doing, it's about the mindset behind it. The whole goal is to do your duty, whatever it is, to the absolute best of your ability, but then you totally let go of the outcome. You focus on the work itself, not what you're going to get out of it. Krishna goes even deeper with this idea of yajna, or sacrifice. He's asking us to see our work not as something we do for ourselves, but as an offering, a contribution to the world, to a bigger picture. Because it's that attachment, that constant worrying about what's in it for me, that ties us down and causes all the anxiety. And this is so cool. It shows exactly why our selfless actions are so important. Krishna describes this great cosmic cycle. You can just follow it around. See, all life needs food. Food grows because of rain. Rain comes from sacrifice, or yajna. And that sacrifice, well, that comes from us doing our duties. So by doing our part, without being selfish, we're literally helping to turn the wheel that keeps the entire universe going. So it all boils down to this really powerful mental shift. Arjuna's big mistake was that he was obsessed with the terrible outcome of the war. Krishna pulls him back and says, no, focus on the quality of your action right now. Just do your duty with skill, with focus, and without selfish strings attached. Well, this leads Arjuna to the next logical question. If acting selflessly is the answer, why on earth is it so hard? What's the real thing that gets in our way? And this is the question that moves the whole conflict from the outside world to the inside one. We're pivoting from battlefield strategy to the strategy inside our own heads. What is this powerful force that keeps pushing us toward being selfish? Krishna's answer is so immediate and so stark. It's just one word. The real enemy, the thing that clouds our judgment and gets us into trouble, is desire. Now, it's really important to get what he means by kama here. This isn't just, wanting a cup of coffee. This is a deep, bottomless craving for personal satisfaction. It's like a fire that can never, ever be put out. And Krishna says, when that fire doesn't get what it wants, it explodes into its twin, anger. And where does this enemy hang out? Krishna gives us a map. It hides in our senses, which are always craving the next new thing. It lurks in our mind, which just creates an endless list of wants. And it even infects our intellect, twisting our ability to think clearly. The battle, as it turns out, is a total inside job. Okay, so if the enemy is inside us, how do we fight it? Well, the final part of the chapter gives us a clear, practical game plan for winning the war in our own inner world. Krishna lays out this brilliant chain of command. Think about it like this. Your senses are powerful, for sure, but your mind is more powerful and can control them. But above your mind is your intellect, your reason, which can direct your mind. And at the very top of it all is the self, your pure, true consciousness. The strategy is simple, really. You use the higher power to control the lower one. And this is the final command, the big takeaway. By knowing that your true self is the ultimate boss, you can steady your intellect. And that steady intellect, in turn, can direct your mind. And that focused mind can then govern your senses. This is the path to conquering that internal enemy we call desire, and it's the real key to finding freedom in everything you do. So we'll leave you with this to think about. What's a battle you're facing in your life right now? What would change if you just shifted your focus away from the result and instead just poured all your energy into doing the action itself, doing it with full attention as an offering? That's the kind of liberation that Chapter 3 is talking about.